Hi guys, welcome back. Hold on, I'm trying to always trying to do something, right? Okay, Scorpio. Scorpios. I really hate my hair. I have to fix it. I am just so. I don't know if anybody else is doing it. I know there is, but the energy is just really heavy right now, and I'm literally trying to save my energy for like the important things, and my hair just doesn't seem to be one of them. So I'm also detoxing from a lot of stuff like gluten, sugar, and stuff like that. And I don't know if you guys have ever done that, but it actually makes you more tired rather than people are like, oh, it gives you energy. No, it doesn't. It does, like eventually, but not at the beginning. At the beginning, it's you're exhausted because your body's asking you through addiction. Excuse me. See, your body's asking you to give it what it's used to. Um, and so you feel really tired. Okay. Scorpios, whatever you need to know, whatever comes up. Yeah, okay. You got wild compassion. Okay, and with this being fully green like this is kind of the green I wanted my hair to be, and it's not coming out. I think I'm gonna do it blue, but whatever. It's neither here nor there, but this is literally the color green. The middle part is the color I wanted, and it's emerald green. It didn't pan out. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Um, yeah, you got Wild Compassion, which is 333. And then you got Master Buddha and Peridot. And then at the bottom, you got Divine Rebel, Master Kuang Yin, and the Pearl, which is another 333. Okay, Scorpios. Yeah, so I feel like right now you guys are finally starting to let go of things from the past, and not just letting go, but actually being able to see and have compassion for even the scenarios where you know damn well like those were some jacked up scenarios, right? They were situations where you did not, they were very difficult situations. We don't have to go into it because you already know your situations that you've been through, right? um I can feel like I'm just seeing like scenarios of situations you've been in, right? And so um I feel like you guys went through some shit and you guys have been healing, but you know they say that when you're healing and you blame the other person or you blame something else, you need to heal. When you blame yourself, you're halfway there, and when you blame nobody, it's when you're fully healed, right? I feel like you're starting to get to that point where you don't blame anybody. You understand what that lesson was for. And it doesn't necessarily mean, because it bothers me when people are like, and this actually came from my own guides, where they were like, you don't need to give them thanks for the lesson. Like what they did was not okay. You don't need to thank them for the lesson. You need to, thank the universe. Thank, look, my throat chakra, because some people are not liking this. Yourself for taking that as a lesson and understanding what it was and learning the lesson. Because some people, and if you look around in your life right now, you'll see that there's people that are constantly going through the same. Yo, they've been doing the same lesson over and over and over again for 50 years and they don't learn the lesson, the same lesson. The same lesson, right? It's not different lessons. It's it's sometimes different people, sometimes the same person, but it's the same lesson over and over and over, and they're just not getting it. Like they just can't break out of it, or they never find that moment of clarity, I guess it is. And then maybe they do, and then they get out of that situation and then they get right back into it with the same a different person, same fucking lesson, right? But I feel like for you guys are starting to understand. Yep, and I just got really cold. And if you guys know, I know a lot of readers get really hot when they get synchronistic, or they get, a yes from their guides. I get really cold. I tend to run hot, so my guides, I don't know why, so I get cold when I get, um, yeah. So my throat chakra is wanting to close out, which my throat chakra was fine before I started. So there is a need. Oh my goodness. You guys might be having a hard time speaking out, saying your truths, being able to say the things that you want to say, or you guys are having a hard time being able to put it in the words that you want to put it in, right? Um, and I just heard, say what you mean to say what you need to say what you need to say. Is that how the song goes? Say what you need to say. But when I heard it, I said, say what you mean to say. Say what you need. Sorry, I'm like burping. I'm having a bunch of physical reactions in your reading, which you guys know is a normal energy work thing. Um, yeah, I got that song. I don't even know who that is, and all I know is that part. And again, my throat chakra is wanting to. I was perfectly fine. I woke up feeling great this morning. Um, the energy has been heavy. Uh, but for me today and yesterday, the mornings have been really good. So I don't know if that's kind of what's going on for you. Anyway, I digress. Um, right now, you're feeling your heart is opening and it's healing to the point where you're actually being able to feel compassion. Um, and see people for who they are, hurt beings. Just, and you know what, I'm going to tell you this, and it was a conversation that I had with my daughter, and it is a little bit rough, so I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. But I too, I've been through traumatic experience since birth, but one of the really bad ones that it wasn't my awakening, it was like my closing um experience. And it was, I dealt with a sociopath, a narcissist to the highest level. This person has a mental condition and has addictions, when that makes it totally worse. Um, yeah, this was somebody that was ABUSIVE in every aspect, every single one, physical, mental, spiritual, everything. And finally, it took me a while to heal from that. Not necessarily because of them. It wasn't like I had anger, but it was more an anger towards myself, right? Um, and then finally one day it dawned on me, and I said, I told my daughter, I go, you remember that part in Harry Potter where Voldemort, he strikes Harry Potter, and then they both kind of off each other, kind of, and he takes that Horcrux off of Harry Potter, and then Harry Potter goes and he's on that train, that platform, and he's with Dumbledore, and then they see that little ugly, monstrous looking baby that was part of, Voldemort's. It was one of his Horcrux, but it was just this baby that was just all. And literally, that's how I saw this person. I saw this person as a damaged, just a damaged child baby thing. And it made me really sad. It made me really sad. And not like in the way that I felt bad for this person, because no. But to the point where, how can you be angry at that? How can you hate that, right? Like, looking at that and seeing how their soul looks, and how unhealed and how angry and how sad it is, it really did, like, almost like that was kind of the turning point for me. Um, I know this seems weird. It might even seem wrong to you guys. That's absolutely fine. This is how I saw it. And it literally did help me to release that anger, right? Also, that anger for myself, that guilt, all of that. And so I feel like for you guys, this is kind of what's happening. I'm not saying that specifically, but your heart is starting to open up to the point where it's you're actually having compassion for everyone and everything that has kind of done you dirty and has done you wrong. And I know Scorpios, you guys can be very dark and be very like, don't cross the Scorpio, right? I get it. But I feel like you guys are reaching that point, and because of that, you're able to rebel divinely. And not only is it a divine rebellion, it's a rebellion that's being guided by your divine, your 1111, your group, your ancestors. It's almost like they're gearing up with you, and they're saying, yeah, this is what we're doing. We're rebelling against these it's almost like you're going on a rebellion of a I want to say the masses, but that's yes and no. It's almost like you're starting a rebellion against the things that have been you're fighting for the people that couldn't fight and can't fight for themselves in the people, places, and things that you weren't able to fight for yourself before, right? For the people that didn't have a voice, you are being that voice for them. You are being that, and you're the divine is backing you. They're saying yeah, and you're protected, and they're saying we want you to see the world and see these people as who they are and speak for them and speak to them so that you can help elevate and this is your life path, right? Starting to clear up. All right, let's start going deeper. Sorry, that was a little bit choppy. It's an energy I'm trying to explain, and it's a little bit difficult. Basically, you're seeing everybody now through wild compassion, and you're starting to understand. And because of that, you're starting to speak for even the people that think that they know, but they don't know, if that makes sense. Whew, Scorpios. It's a time to rebel. It's a time to rebel. I'm just seeing like those people, like I don't know if you guys follow, and I'm not telling you to follow them. I'm just telling you, for example, like Dean Withers. They say what they need to say. They will debate. They are master debaters. I love them. And they don't care what other people have to say, and they won't like per se argue. They'll try to the best that they can to debate. They'll say, "Give me an example as to why," and then they'll retaliate, or they won't retaliate, but they'll come back with three reasons why you shouldn't. Right? It's not an argument. It's I'm listening to your side of your point, your side, the reasons why you believe, and then see what I mean. I feel like I can't get my sentences right with the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, in the past, it felt like everything was not. And that's in reverse. It felt like in the past you couldn't win. You couldn't win. You couldn't win. One, because you were dealing with people that weren't playing fair. They weren't playing, and you thought that you were on a level playing field, but you weren't. You weren't. You were. It's reminding me of uh, Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one where he's fighting. Uh, Jack is fighting the other dude. I can't remember the hot guy, Legolas from Lord of the Rings. I can't remember his name. The one that was married to Katy Perry, and he's fighting him, and he's like, "You cheated," and he's like, "Cheated? Like, I'm just doing what I have to do, basically. Like, there are no rules." And he's like, I won. He's like, you cheated. He's like, you're such a baby. Like, what? That's kind of what I feel like. Like, you guys were playing by the rules, and then the world taught you that no, like, people are not going to play by the rules anymore. It's time to rebel. And it doesn't mean you're going to cheat, but you're going to rebel and you're going to make up your own rules as you go because people are not following the rules anymore, right? The rules of engagement with the chariot. It felt like nothing was moving forward. Every time you tried to move forward, someone would come in and didn't follow the rules of engagement with relationships, with friendships, backstabbing, that kind of thing. And then you'd end up having to start all over. Your life wasn't you'd move forward and then somebody would come in and mess your shit up. And then all of a sudden you'd have to start all over again because you're thinking still in your mind that people are playing by the rules when they weren't. When they weren't playing by the rules. But you didn't know that because your heart was still intact. It was still pure. It was. And I feel like it's funny because I feel like for whoever I'm speaking to, your guys' life wasn't easy. And yet you guys still somehow stayed a little bit gullible, which just means that even through like really difficult times, you guys chose to stay good people and kept your heart, right? Because a lot of people go through one little thing and are like, all right, I'm an asshole and I'm going to break all the rules, right? I feel like that's not what you guys did, but all it did was get you hurt. And so now you're seeing that no, people are not playing fair. People are not playing by the rules. It's time to break the rules, but you're being guided by divine and they're telling you which rules you can break, which rules are you can bend. And it's because you're being guided and this is actually like your journey. Like this is your I'm just seeing I keep seeing I didn't want to say it, but I keep seeing somebody putting on armor. It's almost like you're an armor of the universe. You're a knight for the universe. You're a fighter, not even a knight, because knights also have rules, right? I'm seeing that you're going into battle and and I don't mean like an actual fight, right? Because I hope not. Let's not get into fights because we're in a system where the rules don't apply, right? So I think you're being led and you're being divinely guided and told, hey, we can bend here, we can move here. Like you're being told how to maneuver in a way where you're still safe, but you're still making waves, which is what is needed. Which is what is needed, right? You're gonna be told exactly what you can and can't do, where things can be better. It's time to rebel. It's time to rebel, but in a place where you're going to be kept safe, right? Yeah, because I felt like nothing. You couldn't move forward. You were always upside down on the wheel, and it was because you thought you were playing by the rules, but nobody else was. In relationships, in friendships, backstabbing, the cheating, the manipulation, the gaslighting, and I feel like you finally learned the lesson. And the universe is like, okay, now we have compassion, we understand, but we're also now going to rebel, and we are going to play the same way everybody else has, but with compassion, right? It's almost like instead of doing the shot, yeah, look, the Two of Cups. You're going to give what gives to you. You're going to um you're going to be the voice for people that need it. There's things that are coming in that are going to help you as well. People, places, and things. And this is going to be, excuse me, I haven't eaten, I haven't drank anything carbonated. This is all energy. You have people that are going to come in that are actually going to be equal give and take, that are going to help you push this momentum forward. They're going to come in and actually help you. And it's almost like that group of, what was it called in Star Wars? The rebels, right? But these are people that are actually going to come in and it's going to be equal give and take. There's not going to be this. They're going to play by I was gonna say your rules, but not even rules. It's almost gonna be like love and loyalty. Love and loyalty. And that's because they've been through the same shit you've been through. And they now understand that playing by the rules gets you nowhere. But you guys are going to be loyal to each other. You guys are going to guide each other and go forward. And I feel like this has to do with relationships as well, right? This is going to be people that give to each other. Yeah. Equally. Equally. And it doesn't matter in what sector in life. Yeah, the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups. And then the Strength in reverse. And then Temperance. Yeah, it feels like you were starting to lose hope, honestly. You were starting to lose hope, feeling like this was never going to come in. But this is coming in. And this could be talking about a relationship, but I feel like this is talking about a whole like soul family, right? People that are coming in that you feel like, oh, I'm just meeting people. No, you're meeting your soul family, friends, colleagues, relationships, all of that. They're all coming in and they're your soul family. You're meant to meet them at this point in life. And I do feel like it's a little bit later in life. It's not like in your early 20s. At least for most of you, right? There could be a handful, but I'm not getting more than that. This is people that are coming in later, a little bit later in life, right? And these are people that are coming in with the Ace of Cups with full love, again, full compassion. And these are people that understand you and are going to play by the, not the rules, but they're going to play by your guys' own rules, right? You guys are being led to where you can't, but it's not, this is not going to be a group of people that's going to stab you in the back. This is not going to be a group of people that are trying to take your husband, are trying to, you know, see your downfall. These are people that are going to uplift you. These are people that are going to, I'm just seeing the rebellion. Like there's somebody that's a doctor, there's somebody that's a cook, there's somebody that knows mechanics, there's somebody that knows quantum physics. There's somebody, there's like a person for everything, right? Like there's somebody that's gonna come in and the psychic, right? Um, it's going to be a group of. I'm hearing mercenaries. I'm not really sure if mercenaries are good or bad. Which I should know, but right now I'm blanking. Anyway, if it's bad, a good mercenary. Yeah, you had to disguise yourself. People that were concealing ego, a lot of people that had ego and literally just wanted to take over your ideas. When you were the leader, they wanted to take over, even if they weren't the leader, even if they couldn't lead. Their ego, and they were masking who they really were. Again, pretending to be something they weren't, not playing by the rules, right? People that would come in with hidden motives, a theater, putting on a show, pretending to be something they weren't when they really weren't shit. They weren't shit, and they were trying to take over the show. Like, dude, you're the court jester. You're not the main character. Get the hell out of here. With the Chariot in reverse, we got Tower. Yeah, this is something you've been trying to break for lifetimes. This is something that you've been dealing with the same assholes lifetime after lifetime from the past. This is somebody that, look, you even have refined government. This is what I'm talking about. Like, these were from the past times, and I do feel like some of you guys have a past life in either Europe or Paris. Paris, right? Yeah. Um, but you're going to start learning. And your lifetimes are going to start coming in. You're going to start remembering all of them. Um, and this is going to allow you to redefine your knowledge. It's like bringing in more knowledge that you don't even have to learn. You just have to remember. They are telling you to take it slow, okay? And this is going to be enduring. This is something that's going to last for a really long time. Clarifying the lover, the Two of Cups, sorry. You got Fox, yeah, people that were self interested, people that were deceitful. They were just trying to trap you. Again, you were playing for keeps, they were playing for control, right? You were playing for happily ever after, they were playing for what can I get out of this? How can I use them and then dispose of them? And you always knew there was something wrong. These were people that were cunning, sly. They were crafty. You always felt that there was something wrong, and it just didn't fit right, right? And unfortunately, we had to learn the lessons the hard way. But now you know, and now you know how to smell that shit out, right? With Detour on the Ace of Cups, yeah, I feel like you got detoured, and there's been a lot of delays. It's been a while. It's been a while since you've been healing. Turn of events, interrupt, adjust, rethink priorities. It's because you were being put in a different. It's almost like when the the secret agents, the good ones, they have to walk the secret tunnels and all that so they don't get caught. It takes longer. It takes longer because they're taking the back routes, they're taking the lower tunnels, they're having to hide, right? Because the enemies were watching them, were looking for them. And that's why it took a long time, because there was external forces, there was eyes on you. It's almost giving like the Eye of Sauron, where you're moving around and they couldn't find you, and that's why you've been having to do things in the dark, hidden in the dark of the night. I'm hearing too, like, and this doesn't, obviously this doesn't have to be like actual, like, I'm not literally, I'm talking about energetically. I'm talking about like how your life hasn't been moving, and it feels like it hasn't been moving on the 3D, but because there's been a lot of movement in the 5D, and that's been the hidden energy, right? The Eye of Sauron felt like it couldn't see you. You weren't doing anything. You were sitting at your desk, but really, energetically, there was so much movement. They were, going through the hidden doors. They were, yeah, yeah. And I just got cold again. Yeah. And then clarifying the strength. This is such an interesting reading. Like, what? Yeah. Heart and mind, compassionate wisdom, holistic insight. Yes, yes. Strength. You kept up. You felt like you didn't have the strength, but you did have the strength because you had the mindfulness, you had the intelligence, you had your heart and mind were one, and you knew that what you needed to do and what you wanted to do, even though it was so exhausting and you felt like you didn't have the strength anymore to hold on, you knew it was where you needed to go. You knew your heart and mind were as one, and you were like, even though nothing is moving and I feel like I'm starting to lose strength and faith, I need to stay here. I need to be here. I need to be exactly where I'm at when things start to move, right? With holistic insight, yeah, you were being guided. You were being guided. You were still learning how to control your emotions, and you were making very authentic decisions. And you were integrating a lot of the information that you had already learned. I just saw a map almost being integrated into you. I don't know what that means, but maybe you guys will, or you guys do. I don't know. Okay, this was very interesting. Let me get you guys guidance, a guidance card, and then I'm gonna leave it here. I could go on forever, which it's a long reading. Okay, let's see. Guidance for Scorpio. Scorpio. You want to be okay. You are rare and free. There are not many like you. Yeah, there are not many like you. It's time to lead. It's time to get up. You are going to rebel. You are going to be the leader of the rebellion. All right, Scorpios, I love you guys so much. I hope this helped. It was a little bit weird, but I hope this helped, and I will talk to you guys soon.